Hello, my people. Hello, everyone. It's still your boy, Seun Johnson, one and only Seun Johnson. We are still on the matter, marriage and relationship affairs. We are on the street to ask people, how long do you think courtship should last before leading to marriage? How long do you think it should last? Different people with different opinion. Let's hear the opinion of people on the street. Let's go to the street and hear what people have to say about how long courtship should last. Let's go there. Thank you. Sir, I just want to ask you a question. How long do you think a courtship should last before getting into marriage?
Oh, wow. To me, this is a big question. To me, courtship nowadays now depends on the two partners. Now, to me, if I want to go into a courtship now, at least now 3 months or 6 months.
A year and a half, top.
Do you think you can get to know your spouse within a year and a half?
We can't get to even know each other for 2 years or 5 years. So I think a year and a half, it's okay. Whatever you need to know, you should have known by now. That's if you're observant enough.
But it's not depends on the girl herself rather. Because now courtship depends on money. If I said I'm ready, if the lady's not even ready now. But nowadays, there's not even a long courtship again, like 1 year. Then boy before 1 year, 2 years. But nowadays, 6 months or 3 months. Once you love the baby, when you love each other, now you can go into wedding. There's nothing much about that, sir.
Are you saying when you say a lady like this now, you can just go for courtship for like 2-3 months before getting married?
Well, if I love the baby, then I even know her family, then I love everything about her. I know anything about her, then she know me also. I can go into a relationship in 6 months.
Do you think you can get to know your spouse within 3 months or 6 months?
Even though we are together for 5 years or 10 years or 15 years, we can't even know each other very well. But with times now, we're able to even know each other very well.
I think that depends on the individual. But if you ask my opinion, I would say a very considerable time of 6 months to 1 year and thereabout.
Why would you say 6 months or 1 year? What about?
There is need for you to understudy that relationship. Who is this person? What is his likes and what his dislikes? So it's very important.
Are you saying you can understudy that within a year rather?
You are going to have a key performance indices that will give you a pointer to this person can do A, B, C, D. Through your relationship with him on that period in review, if you are very sensitive enough and you know what you are looking for, you will definitely get a cue on what he can do, how he can behave, what is his judgment, sense of view on issues. So, and if you are looking for something, you find it out. So now depend on the way you want to find it out.
Well, I believe it depends on the individual. Because what works for Taiwo may not work for Kenny. My home courtship, I can't be using it to judge others. Because I court my wife for almost 8 years before I got married to her. So it depends, that's why I say it depends on the individual. Normally, courtship is not supposed to be more than at least 1.5 years. But at times, situation and circumstances call for it. So normally it's not supposed to be more than 1.5 years. Because we receive grace more than ourselves. Let me say for my home to be longer than that is a grace. That's why I say what work for Taiwo may not work for Kende. That's just it.
It all depends on both parties now. If the guy is really to settle down or willing to settle down, it shouldn't take up to a year to get married. But if the guy is a playboy, and likewise the lady is also a play lady, then they will both play each other.
Do you think you can get to know your spouse within a year?
If you're being sincere to each other, yes.
Ǹjẹ́ ti gbọ́? Pé kí ni? Hey, Hilltop. Agview ló tún ṣe yẹn lálágbàdo. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni, ó wà ń bẹ̀. Wo eléyìí tiẹ̀ wá, ó mú rọrùn rẹpẹtẹ wá. 10,000 per square meter. Tó bá jẹ́ pé half ló fẹ́ 3 million. Tó bá fẹ́ full 6 million. Sórí Hilltop tó ń sọ fún ẹ yìí. Tó bá bọ́lẹ̀ ní airport tó ń bọ̀ straight ni. Kàtórí ìṣẹ́jú 10 ó ti débẹ̀. Ọ̀nà dẹ̀ wà ń bẹ̀. Àwọn kan ẹ̀kọ̀rọ̀ AIT gbogbo ibi tó bá gbà ń bẹ̀. Títì ní gbogbo ẹ̀gbá lásà. Kò sí pé ó jásí kò tó jásí gegele. Ìwọ máa bọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ tí ẹ̀ wá wò ná. Ojoojúmọ́ là máa àwọn èèyàn lọ. Ojoojúmọ́ a ní kó wá wò ohun tó bá dáyàn lójú kò ń fi bò. Òun náwó sí hòtẹ́ẹ̀lì ìyẹn ti kú òun bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Tá bá máa rọ́ṣẹ̀ kan a máa ṣí ilé bíi 10 tá ti kọ́ síbẹ̀. Hilltop ni lálágbàdo òkè Lagview.
So I just want to ask you this question. How long do you think courtship should last before leading to marriage?
One, if you're talking about going to marriage, you need to know your spouse very well. It could take up to a year, depending on the closeness of the two people involved. If you are at the same time, better. Within 8 months to 1 year, you could get into marriage, provided you guys are compatible. So it doesn't take that long. You understand? Mine was a distance relationship, but within 1 year, we were able to cohabit and we got married. So at least space of 1 year, reasonable people should be able to get into marriage. It's about you understanding your person and your person understanding you. So you don't need that number of years before you could go into marriage. So 1 year is okay.
It depends on the two partners. It depends on the two partners. You don't need to stay long before getting together to know yourself better. But for me, at least 6 months is okay. 6 months.
6 months. Do you think you can get to know your spouse within 6 months?
Sure.
Just give us an idea.
Idea in the sense that by you having time, like creating time for yourself, you go out, you get to know a kind of person, you get to know our likes and our dislike rather, and at the same time know our strengths and our weakness. By working on that, it's easy to go. For me, it is easy to go.
I think about a year or so.
A year or so. Why will you say a year or so?
Depends on how comfortable they are. When they get to that level where they are so comfortable with each other, I mean, their craze level matches each other, then they are okay.
When you say comfortable, I don't really understand what you mean by comfortable. Let the viewers understand what you mean by comfortable.
I mean, when they know what they like, they can take what they don't like. They've gotten used to each other to that extent that they feel they can live together. Then they are good to get married.
And do you think 1 year is enough to get to know each other more better?
Well, I feel to some extent it is.
To some extent, you think?
Yes, like Rome wasn't built in a day, so you can't learn everything about your partner. Even when you are married, you still discover new things about the person. So it's just like a stepping stone for them to getting to know each other. Then other things will continue when they get married.
It depends. So depends on the kind of courtship. But I prefer courtship should not be more than 1 year. 1 year is okay because there are some people that will do courtship before you look. After some time, they will lose interest in that person. So I believe courtship should not be more than 1 year. A minimum of 1 year. Between from 9 months to 1 year is okay.
Are you saying within 9 months to 1 year you can get to know your spouse?
Even within 3 months, you can get to know your spouse. There are some spouses you can court for 5 years. They won't show their normal character. But eventually when they are inside, that is when you start to see they display different kind of character. So it does not mean the number of years. It depends on how the both of you come together and how you are ready to open up to each other. So it depends.
Ó tún ti ṣẹlẹ̀, ṣé o ti gbọ́ pé agview tún ti wà lókè òkè ní tiwa. Mo polówó fún yín mo ní ní Mòwe 3 bedroom wà ń bẹ̀ ó ti di 10.5 níbi tó dùn tó lálàáfíà bedroom bẹ̀ in fact mọ́tò tó fà kó síbẹ̀ bíi 4-5 ó gbà 2 bedroom bungalow ti wá 7 million ní wá kọjá lọ sí Bluestone 3 bedroom bẹ̀ 16 million ilẹ̀ dẹ̀ wà ń bẹ̀ 5 million gbogbo nǹkan ní agview mú fún yín ní rọrùn wọn ò ní okòwò ilẹ̀ kìsì àní máa da díẹ̀ tó bá dẹ̀ ti da á dòun mo fẹ́ kó o tètè lọ́wọ́ sí tètè wá ra tiẹ̀ agview ni ó polówó fún yín ìyá rèébó dẹ̀ ń foríire fún gbogbo yín ìyá alákàrà rà onímírà rà ọlọ́kadà rà wá ra tiẹ̀.
Courtship, it depends on the relationship between them, the relationship between both parties, I mean the family. But for me, I think 6 months, that is the best.
Are you saying you can get to know your spouse within 6 months?
See, let me tell you, there's no a specific day or time to know your spouse. Even when you get married, you still continue to know each other. But within that range of 6 months, at least you get something you need to enter into marriage.